Yes, that you are bringing, that you want to do for us. By the time they get there, it's another ball entirely. This government tells us that we are going to buy petrol for how much? 100 rigs. All we need to do is look back, check this position, check the antecedents. What are they able to do? To show what they can do when they get there. But when you are telling about what they can do when they get there, always remind yourself of something again. What kind of team are they going to assemble? The team matters a lot. That single individual who's going to be the president or who's going to be this or that, if he doesn't assemble a good team, he's going to fail. And I said, until we search our minds and know that we need a change and we want a change and we are ready for that change, and change yourself, change within yourself, you won't get anywhere. All this we are talking about, they are going to come from within us. And whatever it is that we find happening in society is what we find happening in government. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think we have better be very careful. Let us look at the antecedents. What have they been able to do? They will give us a lot of good ideas. Some people are working, they are writing their scripts for them. Some people are writing all these speeches for them. And they go to the best of the best when they are talking about industry. They go to the best of the best. We are talking about education. They go to the best of the best. And they bring out good packages for you. But when they get there, they're able to do it. Let us find out, okay, if you say you're going to do this for us in education, let us look at that educational sector right now and see, is it possible for him to be able to do this? Not the person's circumstances. So I think we need a lot, much more than...
Let me come quickly to you. The organized private sector are saying that, look,
from 1960.
They are saying, so as candidates, those of us who are Nigerians, how would they address the challenges?
Good.
That's what the organized president.
Yes, and I'm happy they are saying it, and Sayatu has led us into it. See, the organized private sector, if we are not careful, the rhetorics they don't want to hear, they will hear till their kingdom come. But now that they have woken up, rhetorics, you can stop it. It depends on the whole organized private sector themselves to take the bull by the horn. No, but if you leave this thing to those who have selected themselves to be running every 4 years, what do you call it, debates? No, it is the organized private sector who must, between now and February 1, organize debates and discussions themselves. Don't wait for any organize 3 or 4 of them and focus on 2, 3. Maybe education, science and technology one day, the economy itself one day. Bring the 4, 5 major or whoever will come. If there are 6, but include the first 4 that we all know. And then add 1 or 2 who have brains. Let them come out. Those ones, if we don't get them elected this time around, Nigerians would have known that, oh, there is a, I won't bother, I will mention names. There is a caller, Abiola, who is from PRP, and there is a show who is, you see, by the time they are able to face the audience, and these professionals, they will be able to school them, and then you can see that these ones are future leaders. So I want to call on the organized private sector not to wait till somebody comes and says we are going to organize a debate. Between now and this is 1st of November, we should be able to hold 2 of them before the year runs out. And then hold another 2 January and very early in February. Or by mid-February you hold. The election is on 25th and going forward. So they shouldn't be waiting for anybody to do that. If they wait, then the rhetorics will remain with them till their kingdom come. So that's my position. They have to hold the bull by the horn. Put one event in Abuja, put another in Lagos, put one in Kano, and put one in Enugu or wherever, whichever is more convenient. Spread it.
Or for that part.
Oh yes, spread it. So that people can ask questions as it affects them individually or zonally. So if they can't do that and they are waiting for somebody, yes, it takes money to organize. But I tell you, if you force these guys to do it, they will come. They want to be seen to be talking. And in the process of their talking, Nigerians will be able to know that this man will be good in economics, this one will be good in security, this one may not do well in education, this one may not do well in arts and culture. So it is up to them. But if they sit down waiting for manna to come from heaven, manna stopped coming from heaven during the Old Testament times.
I can see shaking your head.
Yes,
You see, I know you want to. Virtually all the candidates are talking private sector investment drive, but we are still on. They have not succeeded in telling us how do we want to address.
Because we have not
yes, I'm happy that we are taking this on this line now. Organized private sector has spoken out, but there is a new dimension to the campaign structure now. In the past, it was purely a media thing to talk to candidates. Different media, maybe channels will organize it so through some maybe civil society organization. But this time around, the NBA called the candidates. The Institute of Chartered Accountants called the candidates. You understand? So agencies, institutions, associations that are professional are calling them now because we have seen the sorry pass we have come through. At some point, we just wanted politics of politics of ethnic politics or religious politics, and it's leading the nation nowhere. If you ask me 8-9 years back, the foreign reserve of Nigeria was in the vicinity of some billions of dollars. I doubt if you have up to $1 billion in the foreign reserve of Nigeria, and the debt is in trillions of naira. So how do you marry the two? So basically, it's like we need to interrogate and know the capacity of whoever wants to. It has to be beyond that now. Because if we fail economically, if you don't know how to drive growth and development, you cannot help the citizenry. You may win an election, but you cannot run a government effectively. So what they have said from their own end is good. Organized private sector should start planning its own meeting with these people. And you see, when they are saying this, it's not because some of the candidates have not, along the line, been telling us with facts and figures. That's what they are asking for. The OPS is saying, look, we need facts and figures and knowledge-based information. Knowledge-based, because if you are saying you are a candidate that, okay, we know the youths are jobless and we intend to give jobs to 30% of youths in the first 6 months, that is nothing. You are just talking. Those are the rhetorics they are talking about. But when you want to say, okay, between age 18 and 25, we have young school leavers that are this percentage. We intend to engage them in farm settlements. You tell us specifics of what you want to do to address issues. I was watching one of the candidates that was like, okay, every day, this nation that we say is poor loses $700 million to oil theft. That is an information. Is it true? You have to engage. Now, if you are losing $700 million and for a month, if you can block that, you could have raised enough to even stop ASU strike from extending beyond 4 weeks. And you have to wait 8 months. Do you get the drift? We need statistical information based on what you know. But we don't want people to just to happen on us as leaders who themselves probably are part of the problems of the country. Okay. Because we are constituting an economic brick wall for the progress of the nation, and you want to lead that nation. You cannot lead beyond partition. That is the truth.
Sir, let me get back to you. I want to quote DG Neka Adewale Orede. He is saying Nigeria needs a nationalist that can take bold decisions that will not be convenient in the short run, but in the long run, citizens will benefit. Like remove subsidy.
Yes. No. What he's talking about is more beyond the issue of subsidy. What he's talking about is a leader who's ready to lead. You see, if you want to lead this nation, you must be ready for good parts. You must be ready for assaults. You must be ready for a lot of things. Let me just finish. Look, there was something. There's one school in Djibouti, Adela College. Just one logo. I don't call it Kile. Adela come.
Say it again.
I don't call it Kile. Adela come. That is the dunghill does not prevent anybody from dump anything there. And you see, as a leader, you must be ready to absorb every insult, everything. But if you know this is where I'm going, and this will benefit the nation, go ahead, please. That is the reason why everybody who comes for the first time want to do very well during the first time. Then the second time again, you go back to the trenches. So want to buy this for it. So these are the kind of things. We must not have this two-term thing again. It must not happen again. That's number one. Number two, whoever is coming, like I said earlier on, this person, look at his line. What has he been able to do so far in his life? What has he succeeded in doing? What has he failed in doing? Because a leader who wants to lead us, if he must have a good team, he too must be able to know almost little thing about everything. So when someone is going wrong here, he wants to point out to his minister, hey, Mr. Man, that's not the right way to go. But if you have a leader, a dumb guy who just come and read a script to you that this is what we are going to do, you're not going to succeed in that. That's why I agree with all this that you must engage them. When you engage them in such a way that they will not have to refer to any script. They'll be talking from what they have in their brains. So, and that's how to know who is going to lead us very well. Because as a teacher, if a teacher comes to class and wants to teach you on something, if he doesn't know that particular subject very well, he cannot teach the students. A student might just roll him over by just asking one stupid question, and then he won't know what to say. And that's the thing. So anything that we're going to bring forth now, it will not be based on tribal, religious, or any sentiment at all. It's what we want for this nation. And that leader was able to tell you, this is what I'm going to do for this nation, and it will be able to pay us very well. If you know it's not going to pay you, for crying out loud, don't vote for that person, whoever the person is. Don't.
Electricity. It needs water. It needs to feed itself, and it needs security. Any leader who comes and tries to win all over, I will be doing this in education, I will be doing this in infrastructure, that is a liar. Let us, Nigerians, let us aggregate. For now, we have security, but we are being told that by December, it will.
We have been told.
So let's see it. Okay. Security, food, infrastructure, electricity, number one. Because if you supply electricity 24/7, the vulcanizer gets to his shop and puts on he has electricity. The pepper grinder gets there. He doesn't have to buy fuel so that it will increase his cost. So the leader who is coming must not give us an omnibus thing. He must give us specifics. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. In the process, other things can come in as we move. The economy must be done in such a way that our dependency on oil must begin to peter away.
Okay. Lani, I'm back to you. I want you to take from what somebody just said, our dependence on oil. In European countries or countries where we borrow democracy, they seem to depend on tax enforcement. And you see this country, when President even say the governments, all governments, they look the other way around because maybe they are involved.
Politics.
And those who are big time business who are supposed to pay taxes are not forthcoming.
I first of all want to go to that DG's statement that you read. It said, whoever wants to lead must be a nationalist. That's correct. That's critical. Nationalist enough to be ready to step on toes. We have always been told that we have to guard our loins, we have to sacrifice, and people have sacrificed almost their lives and they are dead. They are dying dead. So now
he said bold decisions.
No, you don't get. We have been told by successive governments that we need to sacrifice as citizens. We have done that. It has not improved our lives, it has brought us under. But somebody is now suggesting that you need a nationalist. And those bold decisions will be realistic bold decisions. I've said it here before. And that is, I stand to be corrected. 95% of Nigerians have not set eyes on any foreign currency before in their life. Why should we allow that to run our lives? The day you look, if you want to do business, Dayo, in UK, in the 80s, you get traveler's check. They give you import license. If you say you want to even bring things in, So you have a license, you have a traveler, go and bring it. But it is not the currency that will be on your streets. The fact that dollar works on our streets has ruined our naira, and we are watching. So those bold decisions is, in China got to where it is today because China said, what we cannot produce, we will not consume. We have the population to consume. We have the population as Nigeria in Africa to consume, but we are not producing anything. So if you don't produce, then you are the mercy of those who do. How do you get production? Electricity we don't have. Companies are leaving Nigeria for Ghana. What is the population of Ghana? Ghana is not up to the size of Southwest. And look at the size of Nigeria. We are watching insecurity allow our farmlands to become graveyards because people are just getting killed there. Nobody is going to the farm to produce. Even food. You see, Yoruba say, if anything is going to happen and we are able to grow our food, clothing, let's manage and wear the clothes we have. If you can't change clothes because of dollar, let's forget it. You see, but those are the bold decisions. How does dollar affect the life of over 180 million of 200 million Nigerians? None. Except that when you destroy the naira, it affects the lives of common man. And you people will go and tell those banks, I want dollars for this purpose. And they collect and keep somewhere till the value appreciates. Is that helping the economy? But if the government says, if you must transact dollar business, wire, come to CBN, tell us the amount that you have in your account, let's wire it out. So if I have $10,000 now, because I know some people have kept naira because of this resigning issue, some people have kept naira somewhere, I'll just keep my dollars for some time. When it's close to December, when they will be having issues, I'll say, okay, if you want dollar from me, buy it 1,500 per dollar. They will buy naira, 1,500 naira per dollar. They will buy because they can't take that naira to the bank. The idea behind that type of policy is to make that money redundant out of the system. It's not redenominated, it's still the same 200 naira. But those ones you have stolen and kept, you will not use it. That's what the essence of it. But if you are making that decision and at the same time you are still allowing dollars to fly around, you are going to further destroy the naira and it can't come back alive again. So to me, those are the bold decisions that person was talking about.
Okay. Still on the organized private sector, they are even telling the candidates, let's have an economic, a pro-market economy, a pro-private sector, or a capitalist or a liberal economy.
No matter which type of economy, even the capitalist system too, there are countries that are running capitalism now, and they're still making it. But don't let us be selfish. Whoever is going to rule us, or even to tell us, how does this budget that we are making, this government, how does it affect the common man on the streets? How does it affect the common man on the streets, negatively or positively? Anybody who, listen to any government.
Means we have not subjected our budget over the years to.
No!
Sir, you know when Swale said it there, sir, when Swale said, borrowing to pay salary.
Yes, I'm coming.
The salary reflects the economy, but we are borrowing to pay debt. Now,
let me just say what.
That's a sorry one.
See, one problem that we have, I recognize that most of the things we are doing today does not reflect on the streets. It is, these things are, the policies that we are running today is for certain set of people.
Elite.
The elites. The elites are making us poorer in this nation. And that's the problem we have. And until we run out of that, and these elites they are in concert with some foreign powers who want to, at all costs, dig into our economy, dig into our oil, dig into our bauxite, dig into our gold. There are certain countries who are living just on gold alone. There are countries living on bauxite alone. We have all these things. We have the land, we have everything. But these things are not reflecting. And that's the problem we have in this nation. Until borrowing, like Swale said, there's nothing bad in borrowing. If you do a business borrowing, that is, I'm borrowing from you, and I'm going to use this thing for something that will reflect the economy, that will bring my money to me, yes, good. But when you just take money for running costs, then you are wasting our economy, you are depleting our economy, and that's not the way it should go. But some individuals are here in Nigeria who are ready to run us down at all costs for as long as their own pockets are filled. But a time will come, if you have a very good leader, a time will come when these people can no longer stand the test of time. All the money you are keeping, you look at what the government has just done now to this narrative. If the narrative works very well now, this present policy, a lot of people are going to run bankrupt.
Rich ones.
Rich ones, yes. Who will not able, look, if you say you want to distribute this money now, you say, okay, in your own account, because I have so much money, let me deposit $1 million or $2 million in your account. The bank will ask me, where did you get that money?
You know, they will report
that this kind of money has not been coming to your account before. How come this money is coming out? That's where the problem starts. And so a lot of them have a lot of money staggered that they don't know what to do with it. And those people that you were talking about the other time, that they want to buy the dollars, they want to buy dollars from people who have dollars. People who are selling these dollars to them, who will take the naira from them, where are they going to put it? That's the problem we should ask ourselves. If this policy works very well, it's going to reflect the economy, as far as I'm concerned.
Something I want to last take. You see tax enforcement by tax withdrawal, is it inflating the economy? Tax enforcement.
Yes, it is supposed to inflate the economy. Tax is supposed to bring us more money. But you see, we are Nigerians, we are Africans. Over the years, we have been over-pampered. But again, you don't blame the Nigerian because you pay us pittance. So if you pay me pittance, you don't expect me to pay so much tax. But if everything were to go on fine, the average man takes his, if just in case the least payment is 100,000 per individual, and you tell him, you calculate his tax for him, he could be paying 10,000 of that on taxes. So you graduate it along the line, money will come into the economy. But you don't pay them much, you want to flip.
So that's the industrialist. Big time come.
No. It's because government
some percentage business.
Yes.
So if you earn a little, you pay a little. If you earn much, you pay much. But if you are having much, I'm not even paying.
I'm saying if you had 100,000, you're paying.
Don't forget, some are derived from the source. Those who are
who is conniving with them? It is the elite class that colludes with them, finds a way, abracadabra way. They tax the ordinary man, but the rich man who must be taxed continuously and continually, they collude, and then the taxes don't come in. That's why many people smuggle. If smuggling wouldn't pay them, if we sat down and our what do you call these people who mount the customs and what have you, they take what Yorubas call riba. They take it, and those riba won't come into government coffers. It goes into individual coffers, and that's why many of their leaders build mansions.
We seem to have we seem to
worship them. This will be mansions.
We'll go to the second topic, and the CGN to politicians leave judiciary to perform its functions. I just want to have a clip. Let's just have a clip of what the CGN was saying at a function held in Ibadan in his honor, as it was as a reception held in his honor by the Oyo State government, and the CGN was making a very powerful statement. He said, "Leave us alone to perform our function. We find to the judiciary."
To the facts available, we shall continue to do justice if only Nigerians will allow us to perform and function without any pressure.
So I'm back to you. That's still by the CGN. And don't forget, judiciary, the third arm of government, that must be impartial, that must be credible.
Yes, what he just said now is to Nigerians, not to politicians.
Yes.
To Nigeria should leave us alone to perform our functions. And when you're talking about Nigerians, it is still this elite class we're talking about. A poor man who's apprehended on the streets, stealing gari, or stealing goat, or stealing just some biscuits, will be taken to the court, and then he'll be sentenced to 21 years imprisonment, 50 years imprisonment. And the man who's stealing billions there will be pardoned based on what do you call it now? This bargaining, plea bargaining. So what are we talking about? The judiciary should check itself too.
Okay, before
check itself.
We'll get to that. But see, it's like that film didn't end.
But we got the meat.
We got the meat.
Yes, because it was specific. It was aside Nigerians. He even spoke that, but he told politicians, don't mount pressure on us.
Okay.
And yeah,
Can we get
about
to that claim?
No,
Okay.
wait. No, even
Let's
if he
see-
said
let's
that,
see if we can get
if he said that, now we should ask ourselves again. Why is it that these politicians go after them? Why do they succumb to these politicians too? You see, it takes two to tango. If you are giving bribe, if the taker does not take it, don't go.
Now, he also addressed the judiciary. He said, judiciary should leave politics for politicians. End of quote. I quote and end of quote now.
Yes, they should leave politics for politicians.
Yes.
Yes, because politicians play politics. Judiciary, they do
Do the law.
But the Nigerian system has mixed the two, and it is all anchored on selfishness. The lawyer, the justice who they come this, you are in an election period now. Everybody, if your case is very, very strong, you still must go and
Appeal obeisance.
thank you for that expression.
Because
No, that's what the country has come to. If your case is bad, you must go and pay obeisance. And you find the plaintiff and the paying obeisance. That is why people think it is money that determines justice in this country. But we have a new CJ who perhaps is very ready to eradicate it. At least set the machinery in motion. Look at the times when, was it in the first administration of the current, when justices' homes were bombed? Yes, morally it was wrong. But, judiciary it was wrong. But morally, there was some sense in it. What was some money doing in the house of a learned justice?
not even naira.
Yeah. You see, when you somebody who knows the law. So the same people who went and gave them that bribe will go and tell government and tip them off and say, okay, so much is in the house of, and they will get there and will find it. So government, the judiciary must sit like Justice Denny. Be upright. Lord Denny. Be upright. When you are upright, nobody can swing you left or right. And even politicians, the government, when it wants to push you, every Nigerian will know that these people are doing it the wrong way. But if they have reasons, like in the case of the second Chief Justice before this one, the earlier one, the Onoge. Yeah, the case just died down but when the case was in session, we were hearing news from here and there, he took this, he took that. The moment you allow these politicians and Nigerians to allow you, the public, to find you a little bit unrighteous, you can't do anything positive. But if you are very, very hard, a justice who is very firm, they cannot find you, they cannot bend you, they want to, you cannot bend, they want to bend you.
They want to cow you.
They cow you. If they don't have anything, society will come to accept, oh, this man is a righteous man. Even if they sack you, Nigerians will believe in you.
Larry, that statement by the CJN, you see it, aside the other cases, being very specific, referring to electoral matters or electoral issues?
Well, the CJN knows much more than we all know. And over time, like people have rightly said in the studio today, the elite has been a major problem of the Nigerian system. The executive, the judiciary, and in the legislative. How? I will tell you. Now, the elites, who are supposed to be in the class of the executive, whether as the occupiers of office or as the back room puppeteers of the executive, they have a hand in the promotion, in the appointment of those who become judicial officers. That's step one. Until we allow a seamless process that will say, okay, this is the next person in line, let that person take his place. For instance, all those judges that were busted and the rest of them, it wasn't as if they were the only ones who were culpable then. But they were not in the right books of those who were puppeteering.
Were they right?
Hello. You don't get what I'm saying. What I'm saying now is, at the end of the day, it took a body of judges to write a petition against that same CJN. They played it down, yes, people know, but there were issues that were supposed to be looked at. Corruption-based issues. If you are the sheriff that was placed when people were getting busted, and you had to now have that kind of infraction. However, it was the political class that brought them to that. That's why the new CJN knows it is the season where they will call and say, Mr. President, tell them to assign so-so case, our political case, to so-so and so people, they are our people. Do you get? Because somebody was number 5, a chief executive in a state, whether a governor or a minister from a state, is saying, this is the person that is our person that must get this appointment as against. So if you got your appointment not by merit of what you deserve, but because of your closeness and association, then those people who put you there have a moral right over you to say, look, we have robbed your back, rob ours. So people should stop looking for what they do not deserve or merit by reason of their pedigree. But the moment you help people with assists to get into positions in the judiciary, they can be maneuvered and manipulated.
I'm back to you, and we'll have this. Will seems to be our last take on this topic. But the retired president of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Zainab Bukachua, seems to be maybe in tune with what the CJ was saying, and I'm quoting her now. The conduct of judiciary in some election petitions has not helped to imbue confidence in the impartiality and independence of the institution.
That's exactly what we've been saying. See, the conduct of the judiciary is part of the Nigerian system. The politicians or politics is part of the Nigerian system. And we, the citizenry, we are part of the Nigerian system. So, whatever it is that is happening within the Nigerian civil society will permeate into these areas until we're able to say, okay, anybody is going to go into judiciary must be seen to be absolutely impartial and be upright. He must come to equity, must come with clean hands. If the judiciary that is seen as the last bastion, the last hope of the common man, is not even safe from corruption, then where are we going to? If gold rust, what will other metals do? And that's the problem we're having right now. So what she is saying is quite right. Apart from politicians going to have hands in the appointment of judicial officers, I think there must be a setup that will take the appointments of judicial officers out of the hands of politicians. It will be with the judiciary itself. Okay, we are going to appoint so. The judiciary itself should sit and decide on that and see who merits it and who does not merit it. And those who are going to sit on that will not be Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa. They'll just be the judiciary and the comprise of everybody who will do this. And until you are able to do that, we still continue to have what you're having right now.
They do it, but we are not able to do.
There are laid down rules, but they waive the rules.
And until the rules are followed strictly, then we keep on going the way we are going.
You want to challenge the CJN on administration of justice, kind of restructuring? You want to?
No, he's too new on the position, and we know he has about 2 years. He wrote, yes. Look, I said in the position. Look, when you get into a Nigerian position, you must study the position. You must study the environment. There might be banana peels here and there. So he has to be very careful. This is election time. He has to be very, very careful. The slightest thing that somebody sees that it is not going to make him have his own way, they can create problems for you. So I expect him to be the man that he has over the years been. Ariwola, we have always heard of him. He was the one who led his people not to protest, but yes,
meaning he must be very careful too.
Yeah, that's it. You are living in a glass house. You don't trust stones.
He has to be careful. So I want him to do his job generally without much ado until the elections are over.
Until the election is over. So we go to the third topic. And let me back to you again on the last topic. INEC rules out altering 2023 election sequence. What we have, President, that is February, governors will follow, the Senate, House of Rep, and that's the House of the state.
No, I think the President and National Assembly, the same day.
That's
Federal election.
Federal election.
That's true. You're right. You're right. Now, somebody calling for the order of election.
Yeah, maybe the Nigerians will always call for.
But it's
Yes,
more so it's civil society group.
No, it's not. It's not just. You see, civil society groups. I'll tell you how they came about. Now, some genuinely generating from activism in institutions like universities, polytechnics, and the rest of them, discovered they had to create a pressure group, sort of, and they now align with people of like mind. They might be professionals, they might just be social critics and all the rest of them. However, the deft Nigerian politicians created their own, so that if some of those pressure groups are speaking, they have the created ones also speaking, and it is big business now, unless people don't know. The moment you could be officially registered, you could get a foreign donor that links you. That's it. You are in business. Do you get the drift? So, because it is big business, people help some groups to set up. So, those speaking about it, they are speaking the minds of some political groups who felt that sequence will not benefit them if it goes that way. For instance, the tilt is if the presidential election goes and is tilting somewhere, you can almost get check that the state issues should not tarry longer, because if an electorate sees majority of people have gone this way, because it is a entirely national election. The presidential election means if a particular party has gone strong on that, you can be sure it will cascade down on all the others, whereas the others are supposed to come from grassroots level up. So if it's coming from up down, once the head is of a fish is bad, throw the rest of it away. So that's the fear of those people. But Okoye has spoken that there is no need and reason for them to think.
Well, I want to a student that is asking, start government election first. You want to ask what business?
What business? What do you mean?
What's the business?
Without civil society group, sorry, without society group, without civil society group comes up with a particular position, you must be able to give us reasons for standing by that position. Okay? It will tell you.
Just want government election to start.
No. It will give you reasons. Don't just talk like that. There will be reasons. There will be reasons.
But Larry just said something now.
Now, what Larry is saying, talking about bandwagon effect, which we have always been having in Nigeria today. Even if you start with governorship elections, if a particular party wins so many governors in this country, the likelihood of the other elections tilting towards that party will happen too. Whichever way you go about it, there's always this bandwagon effect. But I think what we should do right now is not even changing the election timetable. What we should do is, you see, in my own environment, my own senatorial district, somebody could be voted in as senator based on, based on his performance in that area. And another party could come in to be voted in as governor.
That's what I'm saying.
Within that particular step, but we have not gone to that level yet. That's the problem we are having. A lot of people now are just not. If you go to the streets now and start telling people, you know this man, he has done this, hey, go and sit down. He has done this. The police they have made up their mind what they want to do. Just tell them, give me some 50 naira or some 100 naira. I will vote. That's still the thing. We still have to do a lot of public enlightenment. Unless we get there, we are not going to get out of the woods.
The INEC Commissioner on Voter Education and Public says, according to him, he said the decision by the is diversionary. The atmosphere of uncertainty in the electoral process is not. He said it's not subject to arbitrary change.
Yes, he is right. He's right, because they brought this thing out long time ago, long time. Their timetable came out long time, almost a year back. But this is Nigerians. When they watch the pendulum the way it is swinging, they will always want to find something out. I'm old enough to have seen and watched Nigeria go to elections in 1979. It wasn't like this. We used to do the National Assembly elections first. 1979, 1983. Those were the two, the UPN, the presidential elections were not held initially. But you see, that was, INEC or the bodies that have been handling election have been looking at it from different angles. A time came during this this current administration that we run, this current rather politics, is it, call it the Fourth Republic, if you like. That was when this idea of going for the presidential election first came in, because the thinking is that okay, that's the most important election anybody can think of in Nigeria. If you don't get it right at the national level, you are subject to so many things. When the nation was in only 3 regions, you could talk about this. But today we have 36 states. Let everybody go and settle themselves. Let us see who wins the presidential election. That's the most important. If we got it right, every state will benefit from it. If we got it very wrongly, God forbid.
Larry, your last thing.
I strongly believe what matters most are the institutions that are seeing election process through. They should let us have a seamless election that will reflect the yearnings and desires of Nigeria.
Well, I align with Larry too. As far as I'm concerned, we Nigerians too must speak in words and know that what we are going into right now is not just go and vote and take some money. No, let us settle our minds and believe that.
You spoke of soul searching.
Soul searching. Let us search our souls and know that what we are doing right now will last us for the next 4 years and might go down the drain or push us up.
So,
in line with them, the current currency Nigerian young boys and girls trading is this japa thing. Do we still want our children to be japa in the next 4 years? If we want it, then the election will not concern us. But if we want a country that must be built and rebuilt, then this election must mean a lot to us. And it must not be based on partisan. Look at credibility, capacity, ability, and the capacity to function.
What?
If we don't get it right this time, we will still get it right someday, where it will take some 10 years.
well, we hope to be back again. Time is just against us. Hope to be back in the newsroom tomorrow. Larry.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah.
As always, I thank God for bringing me
Well,
here.
We'll see you next week.
and we pray you're going to be with us as our leaders and veterans. Until tomorrow, when we hope to be back in the newsroom. My name is Oladayola Nipekun. Bye-bye.